What's up, people? Welcome to third base of this semester. We are rolling towards home plate. We're going to be there so soon. I bet you can't wait. Okay. Today, I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go over essay 2, some a a A paper and a C paper, and talk about the differences and point out some things that some people did and try to fix and focus on for paper 3. Okay. And then yeah, I think that's mostly it. What we're really gonna do today. So here we are with our papers. Okay. Okay. So this is an A paper. Okay. Now look, I want you to understand this. A papers are not flawless. They can have some flaws. There are some papers that are really good and they are fantastic and they have no problems. But you can have a few problems and still make an A if the flaws that you have are not all that big. Like for example, this paper right here, already looking at it, the heading's wrong. If you don't understand this already, there's what we call a header. See, header right here, which you have to double click into, and that's where you enter your page numbers. And then there's the heading. I know this is like why use two words that are so close together, okay? But that's the way it is. The heading, which is your name, my name, class, due date, okay? The heading of this paper is indented when it shouldn't be. It should be here, okay? So that's an error. That's an error, but other than that, there's not too many. Okay, so that was fixed. I want to increase this just a little more. Here we go. All right. And then we look at the rest of the formatting. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of my picture. Sorry. Sorry for all those who love looking at this guy. Okay, but it's taking too much space up. So we're gonna click on out of that. Okay. And move this thing. I hate this thing. There. Can I move it over here? Nope. Okay. All right. So our sides are justified. See, right here, justified. That's what we want it to be. Okay. If I select all, let's see, I select all, I go to paragraph. Okay, so there is somewhere there's some misformatting, but I don't, let's see, paragraphs, there's no additional spaces between paragraphs. Those are the same. There's no spaces between the paragraphs. Okay. I don't see where there's any difference in before and after. Let's see if it changes at all when I do this. 0, 0, and double. 0, 0, double is the way it should be. Yeah, that's not no difference. What happens is, okay, that some people don't realize that there should be 0, 0, double. And so then, let me show you this in between two paragraphs. Okay, we get the end of this paragraph, and then we have this paragraph. If I highlight this, go to paragraph, and sometimes right here, it will say 0, 8, double, okay? I want you to watch right here when I push OK. Watch what happens here when I push OK. Boom. Oh my God. What? See that additional space? And watch. When I replace that 8 with a 0, again, watch right here, this area right here. Watch what happens. What? Oh my God. Which I know might seem insignificant to many people, okay? But, I mean, formatting is formatting, okay? It is what it is. So you want to make sure that you have consistent formatting throughout the entire thing. Paragraph, 0, 0, double, 0, 0, double. That's the way it should be. You're not just concerned about this box. You're also concerned about this box in this box. 0, a 0, a double. Okay. All right, let's check about how, let's look at our punctuation here, okay? So here we have, poetry is essential for self-expression and empowerment as it conveys unique perspectives. Apparent in the theme of intersectionality in, comma, quotation mark, a woman speaks, comma, inside the quotation mark, the theme of isolation in, comma, alone, quotation mark, okay, good. All right, that's all punctuated correctly. So the woman, let's see, the poem A Woman Speaks has an overall theme that conveys the perspective of having an intersectional identity that is underrepresented within the predominantly heterosexual white feminist movement. Great claim, okay? According to an article in Forbes. Okay, so see, Forbes is the name of a magazine. So it's in italics, that's correct. Comma, it's not the name of the article, it's the name of the magazine. So therefore, it's in italics. That's very good. And then we have a comma before the quote. And then we have the quotation mark and a capital A. This is very good. If you introduce a quote with the lead-in statement, and you have a comma there before the quote, the first letter needs to be capitalized. Okay? Which is different then let's go down. I saw one of these integrated in a different way. Okay, right here. Apparent in this quote from the article, the things about normalizing Black women resilience and superpowers. Okay. All right, well, here's a little error. This should be a comma, and this should be a lowercase. The writer reminds readers that, quote, resilience is often a response to racism, sexism, or perpetual racial trauma for Black women. Okay, so this sentence does a lot of good things, even though it did miss this comma and this capital T. Again, this wasn't a 100 paper, but it wasn't a paper. The writer recovers here when we have the writer reminds readers that when we have a quote that follows the word that, we don't have a comma, and therefore we have a lowercase r. Okay, and then this tells us that something came before this quote. I mean, something was in between this phrase and racism, but that it was shortened. It's totally fine. It ends with the parenthetical citation of who said this, Hughes. We have the period. Okay, that's very good. Now back to the way this quote is integrated. In the first stanza of Still I Rise, comma, Angelou proclaims, all right, so we have a verb, which then we have a comma after the verb, and then we have quotation marks and capital Y. You may write down in history. Okay. Now, I also want to point out that a lot of people did not quote their poetry correctly. Okay. When I read this quote, and I see that there's 4 lines being quoted here. When I see this, lines 1 through 4, I know that means that I should see 1 to 2. Let's see. I should see 3 slashes to indicate the shift in lines, which I do right here. You may write me down in history. I'm gonna highlight this. No, I want to highlight the slash. You jerk. Fine. With your bitter, twisted lies, you may trod me in the very dirt. But still, like dust, I'll rise. These dashes, our slashes, indicate where the lines shift. If we go to poems. Here they are. We go to Still I Rise. If I can find it. Okay, right here. As I told you, wanted you to number the lines. A lot of you did not do this. You did not number the lines. Oh man, come on, dude, you idiot. So you didn't know what number they were. Some people just random numbers in their parenthetical citations. That's a problem. So you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt. Okay, see those lines, that whole quote right there, lines 1 through 4. That's what correlates to right here. Okay, so that's done very correctly. There were people who they did not include those 4 dashes when quoting the poetry, and they wrote a quote like this, as if it's all one big long sentence, and they got points off for that. Okay, because that right there, this is incorrect the way it's written without these dashes. Okay, so it needs to have the forward slash. So good on this person who has integrated quotes correctly, and they have cited correctly, and they have used punctuation correctly. Okay. Now, if we look at the low C paper, Janet, it's not really her name. Okay. A couple of things make this C's. One, this paper, there's too much first person. Your papers should be written in third person objective, like the way that this paper is written. This paper is all third person. It's about the authors. There's no I, there's no me, what I think. Okay. So this is because again, this class is not teaching you about public writing, professional writing. This class is not focused on creative writing or blog writing or memoir writing or anything like that. This class is solely academic writing. This is you're not going to go from this class and then become this professional writer. This is an academic college writing. And that doesn't even mean like college level. That just means writing in college. Because the idea is that you're going to be discussing history, you'll be discussing social sciences in your papers, biology, and you have to write in a third person objective perspective. So that is what this class focuses on, okay? Not first person. Okay. So this paper is not terrible. It's passing. C's are considered average. Okay. But like, look at this right here. This, there are a couple of errors in this. First off, we have Lovelace believed in the naturalism of the body, comma, quote, your thighs, slash, will try to grow together, slash, like a mermaid's tail, period, quote, quotation mark, and then 2. Okay, I've actually counted several errors in this one sentence. For one, Lovelace believed in the naturalism of the body. This is a complete sentence. We have our noun, which is required. We have our verb, okay? This is a verb is considered the predicate. So we have the subject, which is a noun, performs a verb. The verb, which is our predicate, okay? In the naturalism of the body. This is our this is the body. I guess the naturalism is our object, and the body is our direct object. Sometimes, and then we have our prepositions. Oh, look at those prepositions! So cool, so cool. Okay, so this is a complete sentence because all you need in complete sentence is a subject and a predicate. Therefore, this comma can't be here. Can't be here. This needs to be a period or a semicolon. Okay, or a colon. Then we have this quote. We have quotation mark, your thighs, slash. We'll try to grow together, slash, like a mermaid's tail. These are 3 different lines because this, as we just had discussed previously, this indicates a line. Okay. So there's 3 of them. There's 1, 2, 3 phrases. That comes from, and you know that this is supported by the fact that we can go back to the packet, and we go to our poem right here. So that's those. So if we take this poem and we number it, it's lines 4 through 6. Your thighs will try to go together like a mermaid's tail. So it's not even 2. It's not even line 2. It's 4 through 6. But this parenthetical citation is a part of this sentence because it is signifying who wrote the lines that I've just mentioned. So this period needs to be deleted and put to the end here. Okay. Now we have to go back to this quote. This quote currently is if we use a period here or a semicolon here, then this quote becomes a dropped quote because it's not integrated, which means then they would need to write something in here. Lovelace believes in the naturalism of the body. This can be seen when she states how. Okay, sorry, I had to open my door. All right, so right here we said this can be seen when she states how your thighs. Okay, that we wouldn't even need a comma after how. Okay, or you could get rid of how and write when she states. Okay, or if this person didn't want to write anything and they just wanted a quote, they wanted this phrase to be lead right into the quote. You can always use a colon. A colon. The difference between a colon and a semicolon is that a colon separates a complete sentence from a incomplete sentence. All right, a dependent clause. And so really the colon makes this all one sentence. Makes it one sentence, okay? The colon says, hey, what was just written here is leading into what I'm saying afterwards. And this is all one sentence. The colon's kind of like a comma and a conjunction together, okay? Problem is that you cannot use that method to integrate every single quote, okay? It can only be done like once in a paper, all right? A semicolon says, hey, I have 2 independent complete sentences, but they are really closely related to each other. So you should read them together, even though they are independently written. So like Lovelace believed in the naturalism of the body, semicolon. This idea can be seen when she writes. Okay. So like to have a semicolon, you have to have a complete sentence come after it. All right. So you would have to, this writer would have to have added this phrase. This idea can be seen when she writes. All right. Okay. Also, I noticed, look, there's some problems here where for whatever reason the name was in the bottom too. Okay. All right. So look, same thing happened here. These page numbers were outside the period. This line number is outside the period. Okay. Here we have actually a drop quote. Self-love means taking care of your needs and recognizing that you have value. I can relate to not practicing self-love. These are two independent sentences. So what's missing there is a period. So therefore, that's a dropped quote, which means that quote's not integrated. These are the things I'm consistently looking at. I, for this class, am not concerned about your opinion or your ideas. Sorry. I'm concerned about your ability to communicate at the college level. So the things that I'm focused on in grading the most is proper structure, proper parts of your essay works cited. I want these to be on their own pages, and I want to make sure that you are integrating quotes correctly and punctuating correctly. Okay, and like this works cited page is out of order, alphabetical order. C comes before F. It should have been C, F, H. Alphabetical order. Your works cited page needs to be on its own page. Start at the top. No funky spaces in between, and it should be alphabetical. C, F, H. Okay. For essay 3, which I'll do a live edit of someone's rough draft if they send it to me. I'm looking for quotes being punctuated correctly, quotes being integrated correctly, works cited page being arranged correctly in alphabetical order. Grammar use is done at the college level correctly. Okay. I want to feel confident that when you go off and you take psychology 1101 or a history class or philosophy or any of your electives and you are writing papers for these classes, that you're doing them correctly, that you're writing them correctly. I don't care about your opinion. I care that the style and structure is correct. And like this paper also is not justified. It's left. See, it's highlighted left. It needs to be justified. Make it look nice and pristine. Okay. Presentation. Your professors and instructors won't take you seriously if not presented correctly. All right. Or respectfully or of a higher level. Okay. Like this title. Oops. This title should have a quotation mark there, and the woman needs to be capitalized. These little things. Yeah, I noticed up here also. We need to have, our designations, Mr. Byers. Okay, if I was a professor, it would say Professor Byers. Or if I was a doctor, it would say Dr. Byers. I'm not doing those, but I'm a Mr. Okay, I got to go. Focus on this for essay 3. Make sure the style and the structure and your grammar are all correct. Your integration of your quotes. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. All right. And if you have a rough draft that you want to send me for me to edit, then do that. Okay. Thanks.